Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback who was back on the field for the first time this year. First time since we saw him Christmas Day. Yeah. Remember, we found out the next day he was in concussion protocol again. We didn't see him for the rest of the year. He wasn't cleared until after the Pro Bowl games, which he would have qualified for. He plays 2 drives, 5 for 7, 61 yards, and an interception. And what a difference. First drive, first throw, most accurate quarterback in the NFL, according to Tyreek Hill, throws the ball right to a Texans defender. And then the next drive, after they get the ball back, after they stop, look at that, right to him. There's 3 Texans there.
I don't know.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He got
What was that?
He got over aggressive. I think he saw the guy screaming up the field, untouched, unchecked, right? And he thought, wait, I could get this ball to this guy before he gets to the next level. But then there was the safety there. I don't think the ball came out of his hand right. Hey, again, it's what we talked about last week. Even for Tua, you got to get out there and play and feel the speed of the game. And he corrected quickly, and they were a machine on the next drive.
Oh, very quickly, because they stopped the Texans, got the ball back around their 5, and then it was slice and dice all the way down the field.
Yeah.
It was night and day difference from that first play to the second drive, and it ultimately ended with a touchdown, and that was it for Tua on week 2 of the preseason.
They have a feel of with how smart McDaniel is and how talented their football team is, and Tua in a comfort zone, and like we've talked about before, a wheeler and a dealer, a point guard, whatever else. You kind of feel like when they get in a groove or get a first down, you're like, I don't think you're going to be able to stop them.
There they go.
Right? It's like you're just like, they got too many good players. The offense is too well orchestrated that they're just going to kind of execute their way down the field. And, yeah, it might not be sexy bombs or anything like that, but it's 4 yards to the running back, and he's super fast, so now it's 10 yards. And then it's a short pass to Tyreek, and he's super fast, and it's a 15-yard gain. And then you're worried about that, and then he hits the tight end on a 15-yard out. And they just, the Dolphins are legit. I think we both know that. As long as he stays healthy with that talent and Mike McDaniel staying ahead of the curve of people catching up to him, I have a hard time thinking they won't be in the very, very thick of things when it's all said and done.
14-play drive after that 1-play drive. 5 different receivers got passes from Tua Tagovailoa on that drive. It was his first game in 237 days. Here he is afterward.
Good for Tua.
Talking about, yeah, that's right. Now he's got to stay on the field.
Yep.
Here he is talking about getting back on the field.
It was awesome. You get all the feelings that you normally feel of getting back out there again. Butterflies, anxious to get out there, all these thoughts going through your head. But I thought it felt really good being able to go out there, call plays with the guys, the camaraderie in the huddle. Things didn't go our way. Adversity hit, and it was cool to see the guys respond.
One great moment from Tua as well. He got hit at one point, and you could see him spin toward the ground and incorporate the jiu-jitsu training to avoid getting thrown back and having his helmet strike the turf. He spun into it, turned around, stopped, head didn't hit. So we saw a little bit of what that training possibly has done. There were just too many occasions last year where we saw him get shoved to the ground and it was head straight back against it. He seems to have incorporated it. We'll see how it goes in the games that count. That really is the question. Can he stay healthy once the games count? Can you avoid hits, which we never talk about? We talk about how he's going to deal with hits, and I know certain hits are unavoidable, but some are, and you avoid them. But when you do get hit, are you going to avoid those situations where your head hits the ground? Because we saw that 3 times with him last year. 2 officially were concussions, and 1 anyone with an ounce of common sense knows was a concussion, and that marred the Dolphin season. If he had been able to play the whole year, who knows how good the Dolphins could have been
exactly
last year.
Right. They'd been scary. Nobody wanted to see the Dolphins come into town with a healthy Tua and that offense and that team and the way that you're right. They could have been a team that had been there in Kansas City playing in the AFC Championship game. Their talent is of that, no doubt. And you're right. Tua looks different. Looks more in shape and explosive. And I think he looks that way even in like his post-game press conference. You see his arms and his shoulders. There's more muscle there than years past. But he just seems very confident and sure of where he wants to go with the football. I mean, other than that first throw, he knew where he wanted to go. He read the coverage right. That throw there was a tight window underneath coverage, almost got it. But yeah, I think the big thing with the Dolphins to continue to watch, we don't have to really evaluate much. It's their O-line. And how does that work out as far as, hey, Teron Armstead's been a little banged up, right, at the left tackle position. The right tackle position, they got a first-rounder in Austin Jackson from a few years ago who's not really come through yet. So do they come through that group of guys there? If they do, the Dolphins have one of the best rosters in football. We know that, and it's watch out. And just for you and me talking ball, the other thing that's interesting with the Dolphins is the backup quarterback thing. Just because I know you and I were texting. I mean, damn, are they trying to run Mike White out of town already? Is Skylar Thompson going to be the backup there in Miami?
Well, White hardly played. He took 4 snaps in all. Thompson had the bulk of the duties after Tua, and he looked great.
He looked really good.
Great. He was dropping dimes.
He was.
I mean, he took him right down the field twice, and that's why I texted you. They don't need Mike White. They got Skylar Thompson. And I know they need a reliable backup. They need a veteran presence. They need somebody who can stay healthy. But Thompson helped them give the Bills a run for their money. Now, we saw that maybe it was about the Bills the next week when they lost 27-10 to the Bengals. But still, they loved Skylar Thompson this time last year. There was a buzz about him. And when he did get to play, he showed a little something as to why people were excited. Well, maybe this is the year he steps up and becomes, a guy that if it doesn't work out with Tua, then he's the guy that they could build around. But, yeah, I mean, and when you've got Thompson under a 7th-round rookie contract, so you don't have a lot of money invested in the position, you can go out and sign a Mike White and give him $5 million guaranteed or whatever it was.
Yep.
But it may go Tua, Skylar, Mike White, not Tua, Mike White, Skylar when it's time to put that final depth chart together.
I wouldn't be shocked. Skylar Thompson, I think, has more physical ability than Mike White. So that's going to be the interesting thing. And you're right. There was buzz about him last year. He came into that Jets game when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt and played okay. Did a pretty good job at the end of the year. You know that he's grown as a player here. You could see just with the way they ran the offense. I mean, yeah, he's capable of wheeling and dealing and making a few plays with his legs, and he's got a little bit of an arm there. It'll be interesting. Yeah, you might be right, Mike. It might be one of those things where, hey, they gave Mike White $5 million. He's played a little bit more. It's not a ton more. It's not like he's Johnny experience either. But maybe he is the third stringer and just the guy just in case, and Skylar Thompson does win that backup job. I'll be interested to see how they play it out in preseason week 3.
And remember, the return of the 3 quarterback rule for game day where you have an extra uniform that can only be worn by a quarterback. To have that third quarterback, you've got to carry 3 on your 53-man roster. And there's a question, how many teams will actually burn a roster spot for a third quarterback among the 53?
Right.
If you don't, you can't have 3 quarterbacks in uniform. And with the questions about Tua, the Dolphins are one of the teams that needs to take full advantage of the 3 quarterback rule. So they will have Tua and Skylar Thompson and Mike White, especially regardless of anything that happens on game day. Even if you don't dress QB3, you need 2 others because you're kind of constantly holding your breath about whether or not Tua is going to get injured. Right. So you need 2 others ready to go.
Yeah, no, you got it. I think it's a smart play. They know that, and they can't. This is a conversation we have all the time. They're a team, you can't risk it. They're too good. It's here. The time is now. You can't be playing games with the backup quarterback position here, when you have a chance to be like, whoa, we could win the Super Bowl, and we can lose the Super Bowl or not be in that conversation if our quarterback gets hurt, misses 3 or 4 games, and we're inadequate at the backup quarterback position. So they've done the right thing there by their team and their organization.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.